Hello everybody and welcome back to another Atris Studios tutorial. Now today what we're going to do is we're going to create a fade in / fade out effect for whenever our character dies or we enter a new area, the game loads up, whatever. So to do this, it really is very simple. We're going to go over into our hierarchy and we're going to right click, create UI, and find a panel. Now for this panel we're going to call it the fade panel, just like so. And over here, we're going to just give it a new color. And we're going to drop that color down to black and change the alpha to 0. Now, the first thing that we want to do with this particular panel is we want to be able to animate it. So to do so, we're going to go over to our animation folder. Now, if you don't have that folder, that's okay. Simply right-click inside your project folder and then find Create Folder. We're going to call this Fade, though, for this folder in particular. And then we're going to go over to our animation window, just like so. If you don't got that window, that's okay. Go over to your Windows tab at the top, find Animation, Animation, or Control+6. Now to animate this fade panel, simply select it, press Create now, and it will put it inside the folder that was last open, which is our fade folder. We're going to call this Fade In, like so. For the fade in, we're going to simply select, or first things first, we need to press this record button. Then we're going to select the color, pull it up a little bit so you guys can see. And for fade in, we want it to start off with an alpha of 255. So we're going to go ahead and drop it right there. Then for the fade in, let's just do something like 30. We can always adjust these later. That's the beauty of the whole thing. We're going to bring the alpha back up to 0. So whenever we have the fade, it does something like this. Now to reverse the effect, we're going to simply go over here, select this drop down and press create new clip, and we're going to call this fade out. Now for the fade out, it's just the complete opposite. So just pull that up and we start off as empty. So make sure to move this around. You have to hit the record button, obviously. So record button, boom, pull it up, move it just so it adds a little dot, and then we're going to pull it up to where alpha is equal to 0. Then we're going to go back over to maybe like something like 30. And we're going to pull that back up and then just drop it to where the alpha is 255. So it's just a complete opposite. Nice. If you go over to your animator now, you're going to notice we have 2 of these here. That's cool. We're not going to really use the animator transitions for this particular setup because it's easier to call it inside of the script. So now since we got that set up, let's go ahead and select our game manager script. Now, like I said, if you've been following along inside my tutorials, then you'll have this ready to go. But yeah, so go over to your manager folder, find game managers, and open that up. Now for this game manager, all I'm going to do is create a header. And inside this header, we're going to call this effects, like so. And then we're going to create a public animator, and we're going to call this fade. So we're going to be able to call this fade anywhere inside of the script because we have already created a singleton for this game manager script. All right, so inside of void start, we want to be able to cause the fade in to happen. So we're going to say fade dot play, and I just want the play. Yeah, there we go. And we're going to put in the name of the state we want to play, which of course, if you take a look, we want to type it in exactly how that's written. So fade in, fade in. Now, whenever we respawn, so I'm going to go ahead and copy that. I'm going to plug this in right here. We're going to also press fade in. Now, let's just say our character dies. Now, we created the stat script whenever we created the respawn video. So if you guys want to take a look at that, you guys can. Just keep that in mind. Let's go over to the stat script. Actually, not the respawn. We did that doing the damage script. That's what it was. But if you want to, you can go over to your take damage function. Anybody's script or anybody's project can be different. So this is just a general idea. But if I want to, I can simply call the game manager.instance.fade, and then we're going to say fade out. So we're going to be calling the the fade value. Now, if you notice, it says we can't use this, right? And the reason why we can't use this, if we go over to our game manager, roll up here, we do, okay, so it is a public, which is good. Oh, duh, I'm stupid. We forgot to add the dot play. There we go. There's always a reason for something, right? So we now have the fade out function working. So if I press Control S, head back over into Unity, let it compile, you know how long it takes for Unity to compile things. Then we're going to press play, and then we'll see how the fade in and fade out works, which is pretty awesome in my opinion. So I'm going to go over to the game display. Make sure that you do select your game manager and plug in the fade panel right there. Hit Control S, hit play, and we're going to see how the fade in applies itself. So whenever the game first loads up, it should allow us to be able to see it fade in. Okay, now right here you're noticing that it's starting to blink, right? We don't want this blinking. So what's causing it? Well, anytime that you create an animation, the animations are always going to start off with a loop time attached to it. So make sure that you do select loop time as false for each one of those. Otherwise, it's going to keep on repeatedly playing those things and never stops. So now, since that is fixed, we can go ahead and press play, and here we are. All right, so we had our fade in. Let's go and hop up here. Let's try to avoid this respawn point. Boom. We had the fade out, fade back in. And we can always increase that time. So let's go ahead and select the animation, go over to the fade panel. And we want the fade out to be quicker. So let's select the fade out. We're going to roll up, and let's go ahead and drop that down to like 10 frames, right? Go over to the fade in, and let's actually increase that to maybe like 1 minute. So now, if I move around, let's go ahead and take a look at this. Good, perfect. So as you can see, we can edit it on the fly, and we can always do things to be able to make things look better or worse, depending on how you actually set it up. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, check out some of my other videos. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas on what sort of tutorials you want to be able to be posted, or any form of idea of a game that you want me to make, then go ahead and post those inside the comment section below. I'll be happy to get to those as soon as possible. I am going to be posting a video pretty soon about me actually developing a game in a couple hours, so that's going to be really exciting. I hope to see you guys then. All right, catch you later.